Okay, hey guys, Chelsea Coffee here with Have You Heard? And I am so excited to be reintroducing someone that we spoke with a month ago.
Yeah, just
a month ago. Yeah, almost exactly. Yeah. I'm here with Christon Gray. Welcome to Houston. Thank you for coming. It's great to have you.
Good to be
here. We have to kind of have some fun with it first.
Okay.
So we're here in the city.
Sure.
How long have you been here? How many hours?
Just today, 10 a.m. Yeah, 10 this morning. Okay. Got in and went straight to a place called at Max's.
Max's Wine Dive?
Sure. It's like in a plaza.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Off of Washington.
Yeah, it was banging. I had some French toast and chicken.
Okay, so Max's Wine Dive, because I always like to ask people, this is a food city, we like to eat, we eat good. So have you had a chance to go anywhere else, or is that the only place?
I haven't. We heard of this spot that we're going to go try after the show. It's called McDonald's.
It's got gold arches?
Yeah, 2 of them.
On the outside?
Yeah, so I'm thinking I've heard of this thing called a Big Mac or whatever, so I think I may just stop in there and try one of those out.
Okay. Okay. So now that we've gotten comfortable on the camera,
there you go.
I just wanted to, really make the most of this time together because, it's limited, unfortunately. But tell us about School of Roses. Tell us about, I don't want to be cheesy and say the inspiration behind it, but, we genuinely want to know where you were when you were putting that project together and, where it all came from.
Sure. School of Roses, some of the songs on there are like 7 years old. Most of them, yeah. Most of them are more recent. I say between the time frame of maybe like April of 2012 through December of 2013.
Wow.
was kind of like when most of it was, conceptualized and put into action. And then there's a lot of songs that didn't make the album.
How does one even decide what to keep and what to let go of?
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
And that's a genuine question. Like I really
it's kind of a branding game, like a branding of the project as well as the artist. Like what best represents the artist for that time was kind of what I've been going through.
And I'm sorry to cut you off, but are you able to do you have full reign in terms of like how you want to brand yourself, or is it a collective?
I mean, yes, I do. But the beautiful thing about School of Roses was I worked with a team. It was the first album that I worked on with a team of people who were better than me in perspective areas. I had an A&R, an incredible A&R. He goes by Wit. He's a producer. Phenomenal. And his ability to help me walk the line, because that album walks a line. Like it's been said that it's not a Christian album.
We were going to touch on that.
Yeah, it's been said it's not a Christian album. We can get to it. But there's a way to walk a line without crossing it. Right. And he really helped. Also, the line sonically of singing and rapping, because I'm a singer and a rapper. I started off as a rapper for about 6 or 7 years. Didn't do anything but rap and occasionally sing. And it was just more. It was. I love to sing. Like it's just I love both, like equally. Right. So trying to decide how to craft the album where it will showcase the part of me that needs to be showcased the most, which is singing, and then still being able to sprinkle in rap where it's not like an intrusion of the music. But I needed a team for that because I'm everywhere mentally when it comes to writing.
So let's double back because I do want to touch on something. I actually was having a good conversation with a friend earlier, and I was like, he's similar to you in the sense that he both considers himself both, a rapper and a singer. And, we did touch on the whole like secular, the idea of secular music, or the idea of being an artist and being a Christian, and how sometimes, I don't know, do you feel like that's something that's a pressure from the Christian community? Do you think it's like an internal thing?
You said a pressure?
Do you think to define where you should identify?
Pressure, if you let it, I don't let it be a pressure because I expect it and I appreciate it. I appreciate the desire for Christians to keep Christians accountable in every area. Like I welcome it. I just think it's a ceiling. It has a ceiling. The approach artistically has a ceiling, and we've created that ceiling because we're trying to stay safe.
Right.
But School of Roses is very much a Christian album. I like to tell people it's the other face of the gospel. Like you've got the New Testament, you've got the Old Testament, you've got scriptures like, Timothy or Corinthians or Romans or whatnot, which kind of breaks down a lot of conduct and how we're supposed to live our lives. But then you have scriptures like Lamentations, where, Jeremiah spends 3 chapters like deeply complaining and lamenting for the sorrows he has to go through. And people don't tend to want to dive into that subject matter without feeling like, it's been 3 minutes, let me quickly resolve this.
Right.
And I wanted to just remind people that we're human.
So let's talk about what's next. I know that you're promoting this album right now, but what are we looking forward to?
There's a lot that I can't say.
Okay, that's okay. We don't push it.
But things are moving upward, so there's a progression. The album did very well.
Yeah, congratulations. My friend was like, it was the best R&B album of the year.
Oh, wow.
Hands down, like no competition.
I'm blushing.
Don't blush. That's one heck of a compliment, man. That's awesome.
You work hard. Everybody, we all have visions, and we try to translate that through the music, and I think God just opened up doors. But in the mainstream world and in the Christian world, like, there's a lot of opportunity for this album and me as an artist to shine on a way bigger platform. Right. And we're just trying to be careful with how to approach it. But it's right. I mean, it's like right in front of our face, like faces.
What would your advice be? Let's take you out of it a little bit, but
Sure.
Still ask you for your advice. What would your advice be to an artist who's already trying to kind of define themselves, figure out which direction they're going to go? Because this is a conversation I have really regularly. Mm-hmm. So they're trying to figure out, do I want to take the Christian music route, which, if you want to call it that, or do I want to start off secular and then do a gospel album or something like that? Like, what would your advice be? I mean, obviously you want them to pray, but just in a practical sense.
I would say you have to stay true to your life experience. So, I grew up in church, so it was natural for me to write about understanding God, because I did, and like I was able to speak about everything from that vantage point. But if you don't, or if you a newly saved convert trying to like jump into heavy scriptures because they want enough content to make 10 songs, and really they understand relationships and they need to be talking about that. Yeah. Like, I would suggest that you really, after praying and spending time, with God and with, people, family, friends, like, write about what's happening, write about that process, be transparent. I try to tell people that all the time. Like, the best artists to me are ones where I heard them and I wanted to know more about them. Yeah. Because it was genuine, So, I mean, there's some people who could talk about social issues, but for the most part, any artist that I've grown an affinity for has been able to relate with me, even if I didn't relate with their story. And I think that, like, I may not have your story, but we both are able to empathize with each other because we're both being transparent, or like what I like to call translucent.
Oh, is that like...
Translucent is almost transparent, right? Like, you can see what's behind the hazy screen. Yeah, it's murky, but you can't, it's not completely see-through. So for me, like, people can listen to my album and they think that they know exactly what I'm dealing with, but they can't quite pinpoint it because they're not in my house, they're not in my life. Like, so they can speculate, and they do.
Which is kind of good. Maybe that's like the point of reflection. It's like
it's
trying to figure you out. So
well, plus it keeps me safe. I mean, I'm definitely not going to ride around and just saying, every single thing that goes through my mind, or what it's. There's enough ambiguity to be relevant and to reach who I'm supposed to reach, but also protect, my privacy.
Christon, we're wrapping this up. Where can we find you? Tell them if you want 3 things that they can look you up on. They like what they hear. They want to get more. Where do they go?
Twitter, Instagram, Oklahoma.
Pew, pew. This is Chelsea. Have you heard? Thank you for watching. Thank you, Christon.
You're welcome. Goodbye. Thank you.